Okay, we are back. Ralph here and Steve there.
Steve and Warren Solomon here, please.
Yes, sir. And we're wearing stripes today. And do you know why we're wearing stripes today?
National Stripe Day?
Could be. It might as well be. I mean, why not?
Bill Murray Day.
What do you think of people using cell phones while they're driving, if they're not on Bluetooth? If they're holding the cell phones or they're texting, what do you think about that?
I think it's highly dangerous. I think you should outlaw probably doing everything but driving. I'm seeing people shaving. I have seen people putting lipstick on. I'm seeing people having a cup of coffee in one hand, and they don't even have their hands on the wheel.
Oh, yeah.
And a cell phone in the other hand.
That's right. I have too. It's crazy.
To me, it's totally
dangerous. When you're in traffic and you're driving behind somebody who's engaged in a cell phone conversation, maybe Bluetooth, maybe not. I don't know, but certainly if it's held by hand, you can see that all of a sudden there are 20 car lengths behind the car in front of them. And the conversation's over. There are 2 car lengths behind the car in front of them. Got another conversation. There are 20 cars. I mean, they're not paying attention. So I think that perhaps maybe it's time to raise the penalties for texting and for driving while talking.
You know what the fine is right now for a first-time offense for cell phone violation?
It's like $20 base fine plus penalty assessment.
Yeah, well, we say $20 plus penalty assessment, but it gets you to $150 to $170.
Yeah.
That penalty assessment is huge.
Yes,
and
it
that
is.
doesn't, that's the legislature's tacked this all on.
For every fine, traffic and
yeah.
And
so
other
if you
fines.
get a $200 ticket, you're paying $600-700 on a ticket.
It's like 5 or 6 times the underlying charge. So if you got a $200 ticket, you're paying $1,200-1,300.
Yeah, $100. Yeah, it's
like
huge.
That. Yeah, it does.
It's huge.
Well, so yes.
So the economy's lousy.
Yes.
People aren't working. They're unemployed.
Yes.
And we're going to raise the fines? Is that what we do to... Maybe
that's what we do to keep people from talking on their cell phone while they're driving, is to raise the fines. Maybe they're not high enough now.
It didn't work for cigarettes. The only thing that worked for cigarettes to get people not using them, and they were as dangerous as cell phones, is that we did it by public education. And maybe that's the long-term solution.
Lots of public education on
helmets
cigarettes.
for motorcycle drivers, seat belts for people driving in cars, kids in the seat things.
Yep.
But we're actually raising the fines, if they raise the fines.
Right. It hasn't happened yet. It's passed by the state Senate. They're going from $20 as a base to $100, $50 for a first offense, $100 for a second offense.
That's
plus penalty assessment.
It's huge. So it's $350.
It gets big. Yeah, it gets big. I don't have any sympathy.
$350.
I don't have any sympathy.
Well, I think there's a large move, assuming there is resources, to do cell phones and seat belts. And I think those kind of offense corrections and tickets, assuming people are guilty, I don't know whether that's true or not.
Of course.
Have a large effect in terms of stopping accidents, getting people to wear
I
seat belts.
do too.
Just driving along on the California freeways and seeing those overhead signs telling you what the fine is for doing a cell phone, I think that has a great deterrent.
I think so too, and that's reaching a limited audience that needs to be reached.
If you have a different position out there, call us, yell at us, hawk at us. We're glad.
If you like to talk on the cell phone and you think that it's okay and you don't think it should be a traffic offense at all, call us. Sure. 1-800-405-4222.
I remember when it was not required to wear helmets on motorcycles, and when they put that law in, there was a huge, First Amendment right, freedom, all this going on, and I'm sure that
people adapted.
We've saved untold numbers of people's lives, at least in California, by having the helmet law for motorcycles.
Well, I travel in other states quite a bit, in states that don't have motorcycle helmet laws, and you know what? To me, it looks funny to me. But I also
see
look funny.
it
looks funny when they don't wear a helmet.
They're looking to die.
It just looks a little bit odd. But I also see, even in Texas, for example, where I spend time, even in Texas, I'm finding more and more people who don't have to legally wear helmets. I see more and more people wearing helmets. Interesting. Did you hear about the guy who was in prison for, I can't remember what, for something unrelated to a much earlier murder. This earlier murder was now deemed a cold case that was unsolved. They couldn't figure it out. And he has the entire murder scene and apparently he's the guy, the shooter. He's got the entire murder scene depicted in a detailed tattoo on his chest, including him, the victim, and the liquor store in fair detail where all of this happened. And some detective who had an inkling, something in the back of his mind about this murder case that was never solved, he sees a photograph of this kid, and now he's in custody for that. Interesting police work.
I remember years ago, and you talk about how cases get solved, that I was court appointed on some kind of a criminal case, and there were a couple of murders involved in it. And I remember what broke the case is that there was a young man with an easel and a paintbrush, and he was outside, and he decided to paint the picture of the car that was parked out front, but he did it from the back, and he wrote the license plate number down in the picture. When the officers were there looking, a couple of days later checking it out, they saw the picture hanging up in the kid's room, asked him what it was. He said that it was a couple of days ago he was out there. They ran the plates. They caught both the murderers from that picture.
You're kidding.
So, no, I remember that vividly.
Picture's worth 1,000 words.
And there's a young 7 or 8 year old, I think at the time, who solved the crime just as somebody saw the tattoo on the chest. Whether it's him or not, I don't know. But these people work in
he's charged. You know what? You can join us in our conversation if you call 1-800-405-4222. You too can ask a legal question. We've got a video. Do you want to see a video?
Sure, let's do a video.
That's kind of fun. Guys, Wolf, anybody ready for the video?
So
okay.
This video is for the audience to look at and seriously consider the legal ramifications?
Yes. Visualize this. You are a student in a law class. You see this as you can see this as a hypothetical situation, and you can figure out what legal implications there are.
All right. So
okay, let's roll it.
Run the video.
You don't think I'm being unreasonable, do you, Alan?
No, not at all, not at all.
I know we're all busy. It's the same
it's also
for everyone.
got sound, but apparently you and I can't.
If we don't get this development file finished by the end of the week, then we'll never get it done. So I think if everybody pulls together and works a bit of overtime, we'll all benefit in the long run, don't you agree?
But
yes.
The behind of the other woman.
Are you listening
there's
to
a
me,
woman
Alan?
bending over. Okay.
Yes, and that's who the guy's paying attention to. Can you run that again? Can you run that again?
This is your typical
do you, Alan?
office
No, not at all.
sexual harassment.
We're all busy. It's the same for